good morning to you and welcome to our daily Facebook Live. It is Monday the 17th of May and my name is Jenny McCormack. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire in the UK. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're joining me live, you will see a little red live rectangle on the left hand side of your screen. Let me just turn my notifications down, otherwise it will be pinging forever and a day. If you have any questions or queries as we're going along, then please don't hesitate to ask them. Oh, hi Kerry, lovely to have you join us this evening for you. Hi Carol, good morning to you. If you are watching on replay on YouTube or Facebook, then and you have any questions, then you're most welcome to ask any questions and add those to the comments. Sorry, I'm just moving my microphone around slightly. So I saw this card on the, I believe, one of the demonstrator groups over the weekend, and I just thought it was so stunning. It does use the hand penned, which we have been using last week, but it uses our white ink. And so what I plan to do is use our ink refill today. It's a basic white ink refill. And the problem is I found this brilliant example and now I can't find the example again. So if you happen to know who created this original card, then please let me know so I can credit them. Obviously we do like to credit anybody where we've seen or copied part of that design. It may not have been an original, but it's always nice to be able to credit someone at the point at which we've seen them. So what I have used for this card is Grey Granite as the base card. I've stamped the hand penned in Early Espresso, and then I've used a blender pen and the white ink, and what I've done to make it easier is I've just put some white ink on a little acrylic block and basically filled in the flowers in white, so you get this really nice white effect. And then I have used blends pens for the leaves, and I've just used soft succulent, I think, for that. So what I wanted to do is recreate this again. Now on her original one, she cut around these edges, which is what I've done, and she popped them up on dimensionals. And I glued mine before I realised that they should have been on dimensionals. So you can't necessarily see actually that this layer is cut out. One of the things you have to be aware of, hi Jeanette, hi Carol G, is that the white ink does take quite a long time to dry. So what I'm going to do for today's card is I'm going to stamp straight onto a card layer and pop that onto my card as a separate layer. This scalloped edge here is cut using one of the dies from the hand penned dies set, and it's that one there that you can see on the top. So it creates this really nice scallop border with some stitched edging. So let me show you my plans. I might change the base card, but I thought I'd change the colours up a little bit. So this is Blushing Bride, and I've already die cut just this little strip of Early Espresso. Not sure whether you can see the stitching in there or not. You might be able to. Depends on the light. So my thought is to stamp over here, add this layer underneath, which I haven't cut to size, and then pop that onto a base there. So this is crumb cake underneath. So I can change the base colour around if I want to. So let me grab a little bit of grid paper. So I'm going to stamp this going off the edge here at the bottom. Let me pop this card here so you can see what we're trying to recreate. And as I say, I've got my ink here ready. So the first thing I'm going to do is stamp across the bottom at different height. And I could start with my sentiment, which would sort of make sense really, wouldn't it? So let me see, I might use a different, quite like this love. Might do with love. This is a nice bold sentiment. So this is forever and always, has these lovely flowers. And this also has dies that match, that have love and always cut out for you. Oh, hi Kim. So what I'm going to do is actually stamp my sentiment first, and then I can work my flowers around it. That's my plan. So I'm going to do the love first and then tuck my the word with in there. So I have cut this shorter, ready for my scalloped layer to go underneath. And I'm going to stamp this, of course, in Early Espresso. So I'm just going to ink this up. So I trust everybody had a nice weekend. The weather was better here than I think they, than I expected from the forecast. And this morning it was glorious blue sky, and now it's completely overcast. But hey ho. Okay. I think that will be all right. There we go. There's the love, and then I've got the words with. Let me just, well, I'm going to grab a smaller block, but this one will do. Sorry if I'm inking that up outside of your line of sight, but I'm going to put with love like that. There we go. So there's my sentiment, and now I can put my flowers around that accordingly. This would also look nice with the Highland Heather set. So what I'm going to do is bring this up on the left hand side. Now this is photopolymer, and I haven't got any padding underneath, which perhaps I should have, but I think will be okay because it's quite a light outline. If there's any bits that are missing, I don't think it will matter. I can see a tiny hair on there somewhere. There it is. I think I've got it. Well, so move that a little bit, but it'll be all right. like so. Okay, so I could add some more up at the top, but I quite like it balanced out like that because I am going to have the border across the bottom. Okay, and so to the ink itself. So this is an old one. It's Whisper White, and it lasts a long time, and it's a pigment ink, so it's not a water-based ink, so it's quite sticky. You can use it on lots of different products, so you can use it on porous and non-porous, and I'm just adding some to this little block. And then I have a blender pen. You could use a paintbrush. What I like with the blender pen is because this is quite a gloopy, sticky ink. You've got a tip that's the right sort of consistency, whereas I think with a paintbrush it could get a little bit clogged up. So what I'm going to do is just roll that in. Okay, and I need to find myself on my phone again as it's hopped out. I'm hoping you're still live. It looks like it's all still live. Dear, dear. Okay. Right. So all I'm going to do is pick up some on there, and let's just grab a spare piece of Blushing Bride, and you're basically going to paint with it. Simple as that. Okay, so you can get some quite different effects depending on how much pressure you use. Thank you. And you can obviously turn the nib on its side to get more or less. So let's do some filling in. This is quite a therapeutic method of colouring, and what I'm going to do is just brush from the centre out of these flowers. Now I've used the larger flowers here, and I've got some of the smaller ones on here. So it's like an opaque ink. Like so. Go. So it's quite easy to paint with, but what you don't want to do is put too much ink on in one go, because it will take a while to dry. So you can dry it with a heat tool. Hello Christine, thanks for joining us this morning. So we're just working with our Stampin' Up white ink refill. Now what you can do with this as well is you can paint in white, allow it to dry, and then use a blender pen on top of it to colour it in. So this is quite useful if you've got a very dark surface. So if you had Night of Navy, for example, you could do it with that. Add the white and then add a colour on top. It's worth a go. It's a very different sort of ink. So it's a pigment ink, so it's quite sticky. You can add a little bit of glycerin if your ink has dried a little bit. Then I have just some standard glycerin from the food counter of our local supermarket. It's designed for making icing nice and soft, but what you can do is use that to add to the white paint, ink rather, so it's a little bit more free flowing. You don't want to add water, otherwise you'll just be diluting it. So as I say, using a blender pen, but you could use a paintbrush, a water painter. Just make sure that you wash it out afterwards. So I'm leaving that little highlight of ink there. Just going to put a little bit in the middle. But you can do as much or as little as you want, and you can go back in and add more ink, because obviously some of it is going to soak in. So you can just go back in and make it deeper and deeper as much as you want. Oh, excellent. Yes, I think it's one of those so Carol G saying she's bought some but she can't remember what she was going to do with it. I think it's one of those things that you buy it when you see a particular technique, and then maybe you try the technique out and it doesn't quite work as you expected, and you put it to one side and forget about it. So it's worth a go, and you can use it, as Christine says, on dark cardstock. But I quite like the effect of obviously white, so we don't have a white water-based ink, but we do have our white ink pad. And if I recall, it's a long time since I bought mine, when you buy the ink pad, it comes as an empty ink pad, but with the refill, so that you can just add the ink when you want and as you want. And what I would recommend is not to ink up the whole ink pad unless you're going to do a lot of work. Just ink up maybe half, and then just use the ink that you need. Just a really pretty effect. As I said, I can't remember the demonstrator who posted this. If anybody knows who they are, I spent half an hour looking through all the Facebook posts and I still couldn't find it yesterday. Hello, Jill. So if you have got some ink lurking around, it's worth having a go. You do have to let it dry. As I say, you can use a heat gun and you can layer it up to get a deeper and deeper white. There we go. Just think that's really, really pretty. Now what you can also do is make this white and colour it with green after. On this one here, I just coloured straight in with the green blends pens. And I'm going to do the same with this because the white will take too long to dry. So, and also you can use it for dotting as well, which I might try that on here. 3 little dots together like so in a sort of triangle. You can see that on there. Gosh, I don't think, oh, you maybe just be careful not to smudge it now. I've done all of that hard work. There we go. Let's put 3 little dots in here. and 3 here. There we go. Okay, so I do recommend that you clean your tip off, or often what I will do is keep one like this just for white ink, and I'll write on it white in the same way I have one for bleach, where I dip it into bleach, and I've written on the top of the marker as well, bleach, so that you don't get them mixed up. That way you don't necessarily have to keep cleaning them. Obviously our blender pens have 2 tips. All right, so you could have one as white and one as bleach all in one, because the blender pens come as a pack of 3, so there's plenty to play with. Oh yes, pigment inks. It is because it's sticky and it stays wet for much longer. I know it is a problem, but it does have its uses, that's for sure. Okay, so with this one, in fact this was wet from yesterday and I've just left it. That shows how long it takes to dry, and all I'll do is either rinse that out or just wipe that off with my cloth. But it's, yes, so white ink to stamp with I think is quite hard, but using it for detailing I think is quite a clever way to do it. So I'm going to be very careful and load this up onto here. So this is going to form my little border at the bottom. That's going to be like that. And then I did get out crumb cake, but I'm wondering if I might either make that all blushing bride. Let's have a quick look, because I do have my blushing bride layer here, whether that would be better underneath, like so. I think it might be, mightn't it? Yes, I quite like it on there. So and this has got some mark on it somehow. Let me just score this. I'm trying to be so careful and pick this up. So I'm very excited that our in-person coffee and card has restarted in Toaster today. So we have an hour slot in Toaster. So it's pre-bookings only. Obviously because I'm limited to 6 people. It would be a nice wedding card actually. I thought the same thing. Carrie, and I think that's what made me think of the pink. Yeah, so back to in-person coffee and card, and then the Brackley one will start up in June, Thursday, if it is a Thursday, the 3rd of June. I'm just using this because there's a little bit of a mark there that I can then cover up. So let me just pop that on there. I'm going to layer this underneath and then decide which colour card base. So all I'm going to do is attach it from one side and then trim the other side off like that. Okay. And to avoid turning this over or anything, I'm going to put the glue on this side. So I do hope some of you are able to get out and meet up with loved ones that you haven't seen. Just going to leave that little bit there on the edge. Yes, I'm very excited. It's been a long time coming. Okay, so I'm just going to place this on here. I realised I haven't put the leaves on, but I'm quite tempted to either leave the leaves as they are. Let's just have a little look while that's sitting on there. If I just bring in my spare piece here, just going to see what it's like with the leaves. Oh, sorry, Kerry. So I wonder if there's something odd going on with my camera. So that's what we've got so far. Just adding the layer underneath, Kerry, for this one. And I'm just going to see whether I want to, it's a bit low. Oh, I see, yes, on here. Thank you. Don't ever apologise. If it's not clear, just let me know. No need to apologise at all, Kerry. I think I've moved my camera at the weekend, and that was why. So what I want to do is just see what... Oh, excellent. Thank you, Kerry. So see what the green looks like. So this is soft succulent. Let's use the other end. And obviously it does look different on coloured cardstock. That's what I'm wondering. Let's just put a little bit of white on. Okay, I just need to let the dog out. So do you think I should add the green of the leaves onto here? Okay, Carol, no trouble at all. Take care, my darling. So let the dog out. Let me know whether you think I should colour the leaves in, or in green, or leave them as they are. Cassie, come. Sorry, ladies. Kerry likes it without. Leave it as they are. Okay, thank you. That is fine. So, find my scissors. There we go. So that's going to sit on there like that. So as you can see, it's still wet even now. So I'm just going to be ultra careful. Undecided. Yes. I could replicate this one and do one with and see which I prefer. I don't think it looks wrong without it. I don't think it looks like there's anything missing. Let's put it that way. Okay. So just so I don't get any inky fingers on there, I'm just pressing this down with the top of the blends pen. So this area is drying already. As I said, what you can do is go back and add more white ink if you wish. So there we go. Oops. Yes, I think my camera is tilted back, so no wonder you couldn't see it. I do apologise, ladies. So there we go. So this is on Grey Granite, and then this one is on Blushing Bride. As you say, it would make a nice wedding card, wouldn't it? Okay, so that is it for today. So using white craft ink. So all I did was just pop some onto a little block, and I used one of our blender pens. But as I say, you could use a paintbrush, just make sure you're rinsing it out at the end. And if it goes very dry, add just a drop of glycerin to make it more wet. Okay, so thank you very much, ladies. I will be back tomorrow, Tuesday, at 7 p.m. and as I say, I've got my in-person coffee and card this afternoon, and we will be using the hand penned suite. And obviously I have to be very mindful of the COVID restrictions and the like, so some of the packs will be partly prepared ready to avoid too much handling. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of you ladies this afternoon. So I know Jill will be there. Thank you, Kim. Are you around, Kim, or are you working today? Because we are in Toaster this afternoon. I have one space left. It's 2:30 till 3:30, Kim, if that suits you. You like the green on the grey card? Yes. You'd be most welcome to join us. No, I think Kim meant what time is the... Oh, nice. What time is the coffee and card? So yes, you'd be most welcome to join us because I have a space left, Kim. Okay, space has gone to Kim. 2:30 to 3:30, and it's at Watling Street Village, which used to be called 185 Watling Street, right in the centre of Toaster. If you need any more assistance in finding it or anything, can't remember if you've been there, Kim, then just let me know and I can send you the details. But if you look for Watling Street Village, you will find that information. Okay, thank you everybody for joining me today. I will have a look at that camera position because it's obviously tilted back slightly, and I look forward to crafting with everybody tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye to you. Thank you, Carrie. Bye, Carrie. Bye, Kim, Christine, Jeanette. I think Carol G has already gone. Carol W. And Carrie, I've said. I think. Oh, Jill, I look forward to seeing you. So I think that was everybody who popped up on my live feed. Thank you, everybody. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your day in the UK and your evening if you're in America or Canada. Thank you so much, ladies. Bye-bye.